You know, and they had 2 sets of books a couple of years ago. And, you know, they are an authority, and therefore they don't answer, they certainly don't answer to the city of New York, and they hardly answer to the state of New York. All right? But they need to be audited from top to bottom so that we can make sure that they are running efficiently, you know, and that they are cutting the things that should be cut, making sure that, you know, they are spending things only on things they should spend them, and they are not sitting there with empty buildings, as I have been told by a number of people, that they could be selling and getting off. They're on their books as liabilities. They have to maintain the buildings that they're empty. What are they doing that for? So I think, you know, I think our senators did a very important thing in that respect. So, you know, now the other thing I'd ask you to do, going back to the sales tax and the water tax, you know, there's a great deal of resistance on the sales tax increase at the council. I think it's a horrible idea, especially eliminating the exemption on clothing. I mean, everybody needs clothing. Even more than that, this water rate increase is not yet a done deal. Now, I don't get to vote on that. All right, the water board is appointed 100% by His Majesty the Mayor of the City of New York. He is right now holding a fundraiser for a not-for-profit organization headed by one of the people he's appointed to the water board. And we're not supposed to wonder how that person's going to vote on the water increase. The last chairman of the board, when he suggested that the council might be right, when we suggest that the $200 million that they're pulling out of the system to pay the New York City rent, all right, I'm serious, the water board pays New York City rent, $200 million rent, might be unfair to people who are using water. The mayor fired him. So, you know, when I say this is the mayor's increase, it is. So, you know, I believe in the miracle of election years. And so there's a way you can get a message to Mike Bloomberg between now and I believe the vote is May 15th. Go home, dial 311. Tell them you're calling to object to yet another water sewer increase. Because when they pass this one, and they will, because you know he controls the board, they've asked for it, they're going to do it. It's going to be another 14% this year. That's going to make 40% in 3 years. And, you know, folks, there's nothing more necessary. You know, if I had to find something more necessary than clothing, it would be water. We got, you know, I mean, so it is the most regressive thing he could be doing. And to me, it's just outrageous. And we've held hearings. We held a hearing on it. And all we can do is scream and yell and pontificate. So I'm doing that. But then I'm asking you, because he doesn't, you know, what's the story? Councilman who criticizes Mike Bloomberg again. I'm asking you, people that he's going to come to this November and ask for support, to call 311 and say, you object. That's enough. You've had it. No more water rate increases. And they will clock those calls. They will. They will. They're going to write down, got a phone call, got a phone call, got a phone call. And maybe he'll get the message. Anybody, anything else? Or can I? Yes. Yes, sir.
I just found out that the Hebrew Language Academy is supposedly being housed in Marine Park starting September.
Right.
That means this neighborhood school, there will be no seats for those children. Which one of them is mine?
Well, you're half right. We have been asking for the last 3 years, and when I say we, I'm talking about the school principal, the PA, myself, Assemblyman Maisel, Senator Golden. We have been asking that that school be converted into a K through 12 performing arts school. We think there's a need for it, and there is space for it. DOE has told us for each year for the last 3 years that there is insufficient space for it. And that is why they have denied that request.
Okay, but
now, lo and behold, they have a plan. They want to put a charter school in there. All right? Now, I don't like charter schools. I don't like ethnic charter schools of any kind. Hebrew language, Chinese, Arabic, I don't like any of them. All right? So, I mean, I'm not for this at all. All right? But because this is their plan, all right, and they want to do it, I'm telling you, they're going to do it. All right? I met with the charter school. In fact, I suggested to them that they look elsewhere. Assemblyman Maisel suggested to them that they look at Resurrection. And I said, why don't you use that building? Because this is a temporary home, right? Because the charter school is going to build their own facility someplace. But they're going to open in September. Let me tell you, what mayoral control means. Mayoral control means they do what they please and then manage your dissent later. All right? And I will tell you, we are continuing to protest, continuing to organize. There will be some meetings in Marine Park or in and around this subject. Now, I don't believe that's going to mean there won't be space for your child at 278. I don't believe that. Only because I know that there's so much space at 278 now. That's just why they're trying to. They think they can shove it in there. But I have yet to see DOE back off on a decision like this.
The space that they're talking about taking is the library. I think kids should need a library.
Well,
You want the gym and their music department, which they have a really good music department. Those are the 3 rooms.
That's not entirely so either. But look, I can't sit here with a straight face and tell you that we've been asking for them to expand this school into a performing arts center, and then tell you that there isn't space in the school.
Oh, I understand that. I'm on President's Council. I know that.
Okay.
But don't take away from our kids to put a charter school there for nothing. There's empty buildings that they can do it.
It's kind of funny. We had a hearing. I'm on the Education Committee of the Council. We had a hearing on charter schools. The New York Post went wild. All right? They called us puppets of the UFT for questioning charter schools because the Post is against the UFT and in favor of charter schools. Now, I asked questions of the Deputy Chancellor that I thought were completely relevant. By the way, no one handed me cards to read. I don't work that way. I'm clever enough to ask my own questions. They elevate charter schools to some kind of status by playing with the numbers. We know what works and what doesn't work in education. Parental involvement and reduced class size work. So you can't compare a charter school where, on average, 3/4 of the classes in charter schools are smaller in size than public school classes, and then say charter schools are better. Compare them class size to class size and tell me charter schools are better. All right? You can't tell me that when the level of parental involvement in charter schools is necessarily higher because the parent of a kid in a charter school had to seek out the school, apply for it, and go, as opposed to going to your neighborhood school. So, they're comparing apples to bananas and then telling you which one tastes better. And I don't believe it. I don't believe that this is a good choice for Marine Park. I don't believe it's the choice this community wants to make. And you know what? They will probably shove it down our throat anyway, no matter how much I protest, and Marty Golden protests, and Alan Maisel protests, and Debbie Garofalo, the principal of the school, protests, because that's what mayoral control means.
Well, the thing is now, my parents think that once it's in Marine Park, it's coming here. Because they'll go to 277 because it's the top rated school in the district right now.
I seriously doubt that there's space in even DOE would have to admit there isn't sufficient space in 277.
Okay, I believe that we're on the same page, the charter schools and the public schools and all that. But what is the solution? As a parent of a student in Marine Park, where do we go from here? They're calling an emergency PA meeting next Wednesday night, and then a week after that is going to be the Civic Association for Marine Park. What are the alternatives for us?
We're going to continue to press to try and get them out of that building and into another location. Now, I have to tell you, at this particular moment in time, my colleagues in state government have more influence than I do because they're coming to them for their vote on mayoral control. All right, so maybe, just maybe, it will work, but it won't work unless they see, a real outpouring from the community on this issue. And so I hope people come out. If you care about this, I hope you will come out to the Marine Park Civic meeting. I believe it's May 19th. All right? That would be the most important night that you can come out and voice your protest of this. They'll notice. By the way, call 311 about this too.
There's also one on May 21st.
Yeah, that's Madison Marine. It's a smaller venue. But, look, I ask you to come to the first one, May 19th, And then if you have it for the second one, we'll come May 21st to Madison Marine.
207, that's one.
Well, the May 21st one I think is the Madison Marine Civic. It's not.
It's over
But
in
the
that
Marine
church
Civic
over
one
there.
is over at 207.
Oh, you come in, yes, okay, yes.
We'll
yes.
get something out about that.
Yeah, please come out. You can be sure that, all things being equal, I'll be there and I'll be there with you.
Lou,
Anybody else?
Any other questions?
So is that Marine Park
Lou?
Junior High on the 19th?
No, it's not at Marine Park Junior High,
No, that's-
it's at PS 207,
PS 207.
right, on Quentin Road, right?
Yeah.
Marine
Councilman?
Park is on the 12th, the PA meeting.
No, that's
But I
a
don't think
planning
anybody's
meeting,
gonna be
that's a
there.
planning
But they're
meeting.
inviting,
It's a planning meeting,
you know,
yeah.
We want to thank you,
potential candidates.
everybody.
It's always a pleasure to be here at Garrison Meeting.
Thank you very much.
Everybody knows where my office is if you have a question or they